Welcome back to this video, and today I'm going to be talking about my Toy Story 5 predictions, and then I'm going to be reading all of your guys' questions and answers and stuff. And well, I do have a pretty big theory about Toy Story 5. It's pretty common because a lot of people have said it, but let's get straight into that theory. So the whole reason why they're definitely making Toy Story 5 is to reunite the entire gang back together, Woody and Buzz mainly together, and well, they want to give us a more satisfying and more conclusive ending than what they did with Toy Story 3 and 4. And I do think that how the movie will end is that it'll actually end with Woody going with his friends, with like Buzz and the rest of the gang, actually to a different owner or probably back to Andy. And we're not only going to end Woody's arc, and Andy's arc, but we're also going to end the entire Toys arc, ending not just Toy Story, but the Toys, well, story. I do think in this next movie, Bonnie might be older. I think this will take place 7 years after the fourth movie, because I mean that is technically the gap between 4 and 5, 2019 to 2026, which is when Toy Story 5 releases. But I do think that she's going to want to give away all of her toys, and she's going to think, "Who's the person that I can give these toys away to?" Andy. And well, when Andy finds out that she has lost Woody, the toys all go on a journey, and they try to find Woody, and they try to reunite back together to go back to their owner. And that's actually how I think that Toy Story 5 is mainly going to be made, and that's exactly how I think it's going to end. And hopefully, this will be the end. Please do not announce a Toy Story 6. All right, that's my predictions on Toy Story 5 for now. I'll probably have like a more in-depth predictions as the movie gets closer because we don't know a whole lot about the film. But without wasting any more time, let's get straight into your guys' questions. So this first question here comes to us from Julian Cuphead, which happy birthday to this guy. His birthday is tomorrow, I believe. He said that in the chat during my premiere, but he writes, I think Woody and Buzz need to reunite and find each other and find Andy. Also, I don't know about the Who Plastic Knife character at the end of Toy Story 4. My theory is probably wrong. Honestly, your theory is not wrong here. First off, I do think Woody and Buzz will have to reunite in this movie, and Andy, I don't know if they'll bring him back in the story. I feel like it'd be pretty cheap if they brought him back. But your theory is not exactly wrong, and the whole Knife character, her name's Knifey, by the way, I think she might be in the movie. I feel like she might not be in the movie because the Peas in a Pod were in the third movie, and then they were just completely absent for the fourth movie, but then they were in Forky Asks What a Book Is, and well, I don't think again, your theory could probably be definitely right. So don't feel bad if it's wrong or not, man. This is all about having fun here. But thank you for posting a question. I really appreciate it. And happy birthday, man. Next question here comes from Way445, and he writes, or they write, if Andy returns, do you think the toys will choose to live with him again? I would actually say maybe, but I think it would be better to just like move on from the Andy part so that we can have like a message about moving on, because that's what Toy Story 4 kind of was. It showed us that that was more to Woody's character than just him being the loyal toy to his kid, and it showed that he had to live his own life and showed that how we found closure. So I think that if they'd made the toys go back to Andy, I would be pretty mixed about that unless they did a good job with it. But do I think they'll go back with him? I would honestly say maybe. Next one comes to us from AMH Critic, who is a good friend of mine on YouTube, and he writes, it'll take place in Andy's current life as an adult, and in the carnival he brings his kids, and Woody and Bo spots them, and they will reunite with the original gang while facing new adventures. I actually think this is the most likely that could happen. I mean, not only the whole reunite aspect is in this question as well, but also Andy and his kid has been a rumor for quite a while now about this film, and Bo Peep and Woody are kind of off on their own adventures. But if they would meet somewhere, I think they would meet. The gang would have to meet them at a carnival because that's where we left off with Woody during the last movie. So, yes, I think that this could be the definite plot of Toy Story 5. Very good prediction and very good question here, man. The next question here comes to us from Math is a Sanzola. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm not, man. He's also a good friend of mine on YouTube as well, and I see him in my comment section a lot. But he writes, "I believe Woody and Buzz will reunite again and play with Andy's children. Play with Andy's children. My theory is Andy's son will be named Andy Jr. and Andy playing with his old toys, but with his children. This I think could happen as well. Maybe not Andy Jr., but I do think they might go with like." A very similar in name to Andy, sort of, but in terms of his kids playing with Woody and Buzz, I do think that's how the movie may end. Is with Andy's kids having Andy's old toys, kind of like this cross generational appeal, not just to the movie, but also throughout like this whole timeline of Toy Story where Andy's toys have now gone to Bonnie, and then years later, she's old enough that she can give her toys back to Andy, but now he can give his toys to his kids. I think that that's very, very nice, and the continuity is absolutely incredible, and I think that this will definitely happen. Hopefully. I think this would be a better route to go with if you're going to introduce Andy back. Good question, man. Next one comes to us from Mario Fanatic Animations, and they write, I want this to be the actual final movie of the franchise, and maybe a Chris Evans cameo in the film. Well, that would be pretty cool. For Toy Story 5, even though Lightyear failed, yeah, I think a Chris Evans cameo might make sense, because I feel like that's the whole reason why Buzz Lightyear looked like Chris Evans, because in the Toy Story world, that's actually Chris Evans in the Toy Story world. But in terms of this being the final franchise film of the franchise, yes, I really want this to be the end. I don't want them to continue stretching out this franchise like Ice Age or Despicable Me to the point that the franchise may overstay its welcome and become something that isn't as good as it used to be. But yes, should it be the final film of the franchise? Absolutely. Next one here is pretty lengthy, but it comes right from Jack, and he writes, Woody found his corner of the sky with Bo Peep, Giggle McDimples, Duke Kaboom, Ducky, and Bunny, so I don't know what kind of plot they will use for that group, and the toys that are still with Bonnie, even Forky and the newly made Karen, Beverly, and what more, both Don Rickles and Elistine Harris are dead, so they probably won't get replacements. Now, I do think that we have heard that there are rumors that Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head will be recasted, and in Toy Story 4 they did reuse a lot of old clips and old recordings of Don Rickles' voice, which is also probably why he wasn't really in that film a whole lot. But it is really sad that they're both gone now because they've been playing those characters for a long time, and Don Rickles was probably the funniest character in Toy Story. But in terms of like Woody and Bo and all the characters, like how are they going to use them in the movie? I am curious about that, and I'm curious how they're going to get all those actors back. Like Jordan Peele, I feel like he's too busy making movies now, and he's not really an actor anymore. Like some of the other ones, Keanu Reeves is probably too busy with John Wick 5. So I don't really know how they're going to have their involvement. And I'm curious if they're going to actually talk about Rib Tickles, who was another character that's a part of Giggle McDimples. But how they use these characters, I think we'll have Woody, Buzz, and Giggle McDimples, but I don't think the rest will come back. Just like what we had in Lamp Life, where we only had those three characters, and of course Bo's sheep as well, while with the other remaining characters that were separated, like Jesse, Rex, Ham, Buzz, and all the other ones, Bonnie's toys, I think they will reunite eventually, and I think they will kind of be using them in a separate plot for the movie. And basically, two of those groups will be separated into two different sections and two plots of the film, and then at the third act, they might clash together, and we finally may get that pinnacle moment that everyone has been waiting for. So that's pretty much how I think they're going to handle these characters here. Next one here comes to us from Danielle Broggs. Hopefully, I'm saying that correctly as well. And they write Woody and Bo are enjoying their new lives together when suddenly they realize that they miss their old friends. They discover that the carnival is currently in the Tri Country area, so they decide to pay Buzz and the others a visit. Things are getting a Things get a dark turn when Lotso returns to take back Sunnyside and a new legion of evil toys and a command in Woody. Buzz and the gang must stop Lotso from reclaiming even if it's breaking a few rules. Oh, that actually sounds interesting. I don't know if Lotso will come back. He's probably still tied up on that truck from the third film, but the fact that the carnival could actually be at Tri County, I think that could be a big possibility. That makes sense because that's actually where the Toy Story, that's where all the movies are take place mostly. And well, I think that's also how they could run into each other, how Woody and Buzz and the gang could run into each other. Lotso coming back, I don't think they're ever going to bring him back, nor with Sunnyside. If they do bring back Sunnyside, it would be pretty nice. It would be like lots of nostalgia and stuff, but I highly doubt it. But the carnival being at Tri County area, I think would make a lot of sense. And I didn't even think about that, which thank you for letting me know about that. So your theory, I would definitely think that most of this would happen. Just the Lotso part, I don't think will happen. But if them breaking a few rules, like maybe coming alive, even when a human is around or something, like I think that possibly could happen in this movie, just like the first movie. Very good theory, by the way, and very interesting. And these final two questions we're going to read is one comes to us from the Matt Gang, and he writes, Sid makes a comeback. I think maybe because in Toy Story 3 we did see him play the trash guy, and well, I don't know if he'll exactly come back. I feel like Sid kind of coming back at this point is too late, and he's probably too old in the Toy Story franchise at this point to come back. But I think it would be cool if he did return. And then the last one here comes to us from Ella's Book Life, and she writes, Will Woody see Jessie again? I definitely think so because my biggest problem with Toy Story 4, I mean, I didn't really have any issues with the film. This isn't really a criticism. It was just something I wanted from the film. And that was basically Woody interacting with a lot of the characters, especially with Jesse, because I feel like we didn't get to see him interact with Jesse at all in the movie. And Jesse's involvement in that movie was very small as well. So I would like to see Woody meet Jesse again and have a lengthy and kind of drawn out introduction or like meeting with Jesse instead of just it being very quickly rushed. And well, that's pretty much it for the video, everybody. Sorry it took 12 days for me to make this entire video, but please make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our newest videos. Thank you so much for everyone to joining this premiere. I'm sorry the video came out a bit late again, but I really hope you guys really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making it for the most part. There was like some weird editing errors that happened while the way of making the video, but I love that you guys sent me all your guys' questions. We'll do more videos like this for future Disney films like Zootopia and Frozen. And well, I'll see you guys next time. And well, hope you guys all enjoyed.